Man, did you guys see that temperature reading? 19. It's cold. Alright, let me bring you guys up to speed on what I'm doing here. Let me put you guys down. Alright. So I'm working on the finishing stages of end grain cutting boards today. To the point where they're going to be glued up into the final form. They're not going to be done for a few more days, but let me show you what they'll look like after they're glued up, and I'll give you some technical terminology here. This is an end grain cutting board. It consists of many different pieces of wood, all in an orientation where the end grain is standing straight up. Let me grab a piece of wood and explain something real quick. This is a piece of bloodwood. Now, there are many different orientations to grain in a piece of wood. What you see here first is called face grain. This here is edge grain. And on the very top here, this is end grain. That's the part of the wood that is standing straight up on these. You have the end grain that's coming straight up. What that basically means is that all the fibers of the wood are standing up, so when you cut with your knife on the cutting board, it has a general more acceptance towards the blade, meaning that the fibers of the wood will actually separate, which is very nice for the blades where it doesn't dull them as quickly as something like a glass cutting board. So end grain cutting boards, very high end. There is another type of cutting board. This here are the panels that I use to glue up before I make these down here. These would be called edge grain cutting boards. So if I were to leave this as is and sell it as is, it would be an edge grain cutting board. But with the process that I do, where I cut these up and glue them into this, it is then an end grain cutting board. Holy crow, that was a lot of wood to glue up. I was able to actually get about 8 cutting boards total after everything was glued up. Here are 4 of them on the ground here. And I have another 2 leaning up over here. Now, this one in the front here is quite smaller than the rest. That was because that's what I was getting down to with my last piece there. So that's gonna be a series of very small cutting boards, probably 4x6, around that size. I have another one here, and then I have another one inside, which is an 18x24. That guy's a monster. So with these, this one here is a 12x18 cutting board. And this one, I can either choose to leave this size or actually cut it in half and make 2 smaller cutting boards, which I'll actually have to do to quite a few of these. So you have a lot of options in terms of what you want to do with them. But as you can see, it doesn't take me a tremendous amount of work to make these, but it's just a lot of preparation and a lot of glue time. This glue here that I just did is going to take about 24 hours before I can actually work on this again. So it takes me about 5 days. That's why I always tell everyone, anyone who wants to order one of these, I say give me 5 days to go from start to finish. That's just working days. If I'm busier than that, it's going to take me a lot longer. So that's how long it takes me to go from start to finish. Not in working time, but in gluing time. So it's a very, very time-consuming process in that aspect. But other than that, I enjoy doing this very much. It's something that I really like to do. You can always get a real interesting pattern every time you do this. So every time I make a batch of cutting boards, each one is unique and it has its own character, which I find to be a very nice selling feature of these. So with that, I'm going to leave this vlog off here, and I will see you guys later. Take care.